通すものか。クズだ。アップルパイ。治療の準備だ。カードを引くがよい。アップルパイ。お前にかける情けはない。
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second AJS news video that we have for you this week.
But first, a word from our reoccurring sponsors. Very, very excited to have them back. Check out the video. Oh my God, I am so glad quarantine is relaxing, Joe. It has been so long since I've been able to eat out.
Yeah, same. It's been forever since I've gone down
Oh yeah.
town for some food.
God, I can't wait to just put it in my mouth.
You're ready.
What the hell?
2 fellatio roll specials.
What is it? What is this? What the hell is this?
Garnish.
No! That's way too much. It looks nasty like that. Wait, Joe, what did you do? No, ew! Don't, no! Get that out of your mouth. What is wrong with you?
That's gross.
Oh.
I'm sorry, no one's been down here in a while, the quarantine. Here, let me get this cleaned up. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Clean it, please. Oh, you can't put anything like that in your mouth unless it's clean.
It's disgusting.
I agree. Clean, please.
Here, let me
Gross.
Mouth.
all clean.
Like garnish. Our show. These days, I
No.
will be able to get Joe. When we're 80 and old, can we at least do it? It'll
Nope.
be clean. Okay. I'll use a Manscaped weed whacker on it and making it clean for you, nice and clean.
No.
Cause when you're fresh and you're clean, you feel good, you look good, you feel good. Click the links down below, guys. Angry Army, Manscaped is back supporting us. They enjoyed our parody so much last time. They've
They're fun to
become a
make.
fan. Thank them by clicking those links and then showing them that we're engaged with them and we appreciate it. And yeah, we'll go and get to the news.
All right, the first thing we want to talk about is Spider-Man.
Yep.
Spider-Man.
So Spider-Man came out on PlayStation 4, and everybody loved it. I loved it.
Yes.
You guys
I loved
really
it. Yeah,
enjoyed it.
I retweeted a video that somebody did.
I became Spider-Man.
Danger and set a different rap song to it, which I thought fit it way better. Really, really good. Style, graphics. I cannot wait. Miles Morales has different abilities,
Yes.
obviously, and the potential for his villains are awesome.
Yeah, so everyone was really excited. We got that special reveal, and then someone over at PlayStation said something that kind of freaked everybody out. Kind of talking about, is this a actual
Expansion?
standalone game, or is it something like an expansion, a much smaller title where
Yeah.
we're not going to get all of the villains, we're not going to get the story that we want.
I thought
And
that's clear. I thought
so what he originally said
it
that
uses the same engine and it's just following Miles Morales.
Yeah.
it's its own game.
Yeah, so what he had said is, I guess you could call it an expansion and an enhancement to the previous game. Simon Rudder, the executive vice president and head of European business operations at Sony Interactive,
It's an
said.
expansion. He said it's an expansion.
Expansion
I
and an
guess
enhancement.
You can call
An
it.
enhanced
What?
expansion. But he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's probably an old fart that doesn't
Yeah.
know the difference between a full game and an expansion.
I would hope so, because I do want this to be a
Is it gonna
really
be like
cool-
a 4
I
hours? Is it
want-
4 hours? You got me all hyped for 4. No,
I want
it's
a
not gonna
full
be
game.
4 hours. It's gonna be a full game. Is it gonna be?
We don't-
Alex,
we don't, we don't know.
That's up in the air.
That's up in the air
What?
right now.
Why?
And so we do know
Why
that
is it says no? I saw them respond to this and say no. It is a standalone game.
But Sony has made in the past standalone, very short, 4-hour-long games, and so that's what has people worried right now. Is we're not going to know, is this a full game that is going to be the however many hours Spider-Man was, or is it going to be cut short because they think that Miles Morales doesn't have the bankability, which is absolutely not true, because the best Spider-Man.
How dare you say that? Suggest that it's not you, but
The
yeah.
the internet has suggested, like,
No,
people
no,
were
no,
people
no,
were
no.
super upset.
No,
So I'm hoping that this is actually, and we know it's a standalone game.
No.
But is it a full length
It is a
standalone game?
full-
better
come
be-
out with full length. I'm pretty sure they've said full length standalone game. I'll look it up while we do the other news stories. But here's the thing.
Alex, can you make me smile today?
Yes.
Them are bad
Yes.
news.
I've got some good stuff in here. Maybe.
Maybe.
It just depends
Yeah,
on how you
then
think about it.
scroll
Hold on, let me go
down.
through some of these other ones.
Well,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
a full game.
you know what
It
I want?
is.
I want him to have all the different alternate costumes. That'll be cool, like we did
Yeah.
in the last one. And what would be really cool, I don't know if they could do it because they might have to they spend a lot of time developing it, but actually have a vision mode where it looks like the animated version, right? Make everything all
Oh,
bright
okay.
and
Yeah.
kind of colorful and stuff, and almost cell shaded. But that seems like
It's
a whole
asking for a
different
lot.
game. Yeah,
Right now, I
that's-
just want a
but
full
it
game,
would be
Joe.
cool.
I want a
It
full
would
game
be
right
cool.
now.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it would be cool. So,
So, according to a Bloomberg report based on someone who has worked on the game, it is supposed to be a shorter.
oh no.
So, again, we don't know for sure.
You-
Sony has
we
not
just
come out and
figured
said
it out.
Allegedly.
Oh, look at this. 3 days
Allegedly.
ago, Miles Morales is DLC, not a full game, but then it says updated. Update number 2. Insomniac Games has now officially confirmed that Spider-Man Miles Morales will be a standalone game via a post on Twitter.
Yes.
Put it up here. Thus, marking an end to the game's bizarre approach to marketing. But it didn't mark the end.
Because we don't know it's
in
full
that
length.
tweet, it doesn't say anything about being full length. It
Yes.
says it is a standalone game. Yes, we knew that you don't have to own
Confusion.
Spider-Man to play this one.
Yes.
That's not what's at question. What's at question here is it is a small little side adventure that we consider an expansion or a side Well, I guess that wouldn't be because you need the original.
Good. Uncharted.
You just should have put Spider-Man 2 Miles Morales. Done.
Yes. Well, so the reason that everyone's worried is they did the same thing with Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. For Uncharted side characters, it was so much shorter than the original game.
Okay, I saw somebody else say that it will be like being a standalone game along the lines. New information from Bloomberg citing an unnamed source.
Yes.
It will be a standalone game along the lines of The Lost Legacy.
Which is a
never
shorter
played
game.
that.
Yeah, it's a much shorter game focused on side characters, a lot less content. And people were rightfully upset because they're like, look, this is one of the side characters you wanted a little bit more information on, and you shortened everything up, and they were hoping for a full-length experience. And so are we going to get a half-length experience for a full-length price? How
Yes.
is this going to happen?
Yes. They're going to charge us $60.
Well,
And it's going to be shorter than the original game, and I'm going to blast it. I'm going to fucking blast it. Unless it's $40. And for a shorter experience, then hey, maybe not.
I don't write the story. It's not my fault.
I thought you said you were going to make Joe happy.
I'm looking through some of these other things.
You're fired. Make Spider-Man Miles Morales longer, Alex, or you're fired.
All right, I got something funny. You guys want to beat up on Stadia? We can do that.
Yeah.
I'll move this one to the front.
Let's do that.
Hey, you know how everyone hates Stadia because they're incompetent pieces of shit who
Yeah.
lie about everything.
Yeah.
Well,
For
Stadia.
an overpriced, dumbass model.
Yeah, it's terrible. It makes no sense that they are a billion-dollar
Dumbass
company
subscription
with
model.
all of the technology in the world, and they can't make a goddamn controller work. So on Google Stadia, they accidentally let Gods and Monsters, which is one of the games I'm looking forward to a lot. It's a Ubisoft game. They called it Breath of the Wild, but with the Greek pantheon of heroes and gods. Super into that.
Yeah.
Well, they posted the E3 demo from last year on accident on Google Stadia.
Oh, sweet.
And it was filled with, I mean, we do get some actual screenshots, but there was a bunch of like
Fuck.
template stuff in there. And what was really funny to me about this
missed
story
it.
is,
We could have been playing Gods and Monsters right now.
yeah,
That's actually one positive story. It's hey, if you're stupid enough to have fucking got Stadia and you're still paying for Stadia, their competence has ruled bank error in your favor.
Yes.
Collect $200. Well, in this case, collect a demo that nobody else gets to play.
so if you were a Google Stadia owner and they put a new game on there that you've never heard before, you'd think that a lot of people would download it. It was free, right? It didn't cost them any money. But according to them, only a few hundred gamers were able to play it. So that I don't know if that's just
few
because
hundred.
there's not a lot of people looking at
There's
it.
a total
or
of 1,000 Stadia.
yeah, there's
owners is what
maybe
we're
1,000. So they played it for about 30 minutes. So we got all sorts of real fun screenshots. It looks, it looks interesting. I have high hopes for the game, but it's just another thing that's like, how many times are you going to screw up with Stadia? You can't even post the
Countless,
things.
I hope.
Yeah, it's like the things that you're putting up on the store aren't even accurate. Like, what's wrong with you people? Like, I know you have
Who
money.
do you have working at Google who isn't tech savvy or gamer centric enough to know that, hey, I don't think Gods and Monsters is out yet.
It's going out.
Let's
Fuck
go
it.
put it up. Gods and Monsters, that must be the latest, greatest hot game that the kids are playing. Hey, fellow kids.
Yeah.
We're still doing the backwards baseball
Yeah.
caps, right?
Yeah. So, Stadia. That's the fun one that we got. Is that they're incompetent. They can't design anything, and they can't seem to do anything
Leave it
right.
to Stadia to put a
I've been
smile
s-
on my face.
I've been seeing more ads for it recently
Oh,
on
no.
Me
I hate they
too.
play in front of our videos. I don't know, but other videos I watch, they play in front of those.
Yeah, like put it right
but
here.
they're
Fuck
thankfully
that
they're
guy.
mercifully short, aren't they? They're like
Are they so
they have
crazy
enough
and
time-
weird ones?
Yes.
no,
So-
they're
I
like
got
so,
some
so
crazy ones.
short. Oh, like what?
Oh.
That I forget his name. Guy with the crazy hair.
Oh yeah, and
Oh, okay.
yeah. No, I don't. I want Stadia to get better, and this is not how you start the healing
Nah,
process for PR.
I want Stadia to die and leave, and then maybe be reborn, and they call it something else, and then that would be all right.
Yeah, Google Glass Part 2, where it's. All right, we got a confirmation. So we got some leaks. GameSpot put up some images they were not supposed to put up on their website about EA Star Wars Squadrons. We didn't know anything about the game.
Yeah.
They just
We
put
did
up
a video. Go check it out.
Yep.
And so we didn't know anything about the game. It just said pilots wanted. It's like, okay, what the hell is this? Apparently they were not supposed to put it up at all, which freaked out EA. And then EA immediately put up a video today. It's a trailer for the video game. I think it looks. I'm excited for it, but I have a hate relationship with EA, and I love-hate relationship with Star Wars.
I was surprised. Alex is more excited for something than I am.
I love.
I've been burned by EA so many times.
I know.
And it's
And
not
Star
the
Wars,
combat
too.
sim. It's not the heavy combat sim that I want. And now you're talking about 5-on-5 when I want 30-on-30.
Yeah.
Get the campaign mode.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. I'm gonna be
yeah,
disappointed. I
yeah.
just like for whatever reason.
Create yourself.
Yeah. I'm hopeful.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
That's what I am. I'm hopeful. But I'm like, I
Exactly.
understand that I am naively hopeful. It's like, that's what I really want. I really want this. And
It's
it's like,
like
but you're going to fuck it up because
Yeah.
you're EA.
New Star Wars EA. I'm
And
like,
you're Star
okay,
Wars.
I'm not gonna let myself be overhyped anymore.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
Good.
overhyped, but I still want it to be good. I know it's not
Hopeful,
going
Alex,
to.
hopeful.
God damn it. All right, so that was like kind of good news, but again, GameSpot, be better. Don't spoil shit for people. Setting expectations is really important. Speaking of setting expectations, Sony, we got to watch the Sony PS5 reveal. A lot of surprises.
Yep.
We got to see what the hell the thing looked like because it
Yeah,
is no
very cool.
I've
longer.
seen so many memes of the
Yeah,
router.
yeah,
What do you want, a mini fridge or the
Wi-Fi
router?
or router,
Mhm,
right? Yeah.
yeah. I was.
Everybody thinks they're clever when they say it. I'm like, we've heard it a thousand
Yeah,
times.
welcome to the internet. All the jokes are the same.
But you know what? I realized that a lot of people are probably gonna put it on its side. We showed it on its side in our video, and people are making separate videos just to show it on its side, like it's some amazing thing. Yes, it's on its side.
What?
You can
But
hold it
I
different
do
ways.
think it
Can you
doesn't
do
look
it upside
quite,
down?
doesn't look quite as good as on its side. So it's like,
No.
but that's probably gonna be the majority. What do you think the majority of households are gonna do? Stand or side?
I think
it's
that
gonna
they
be
will
side.
probably put it in a cabinet and then burn it out because they don't realize that it's not an old console anymore, and those things need airflow. Otherwise, you're going to cook the damn thing.
Right.
So I think
Right.
that's what the majority of people are going to do because
But the right thing to do is to keep it
upright. Yes. Well, one of the reasons that didn't used to be able to do that with consoles is because of the optical drive, right? Because if you put a CD, Blu-ray, or something in there, especially the original Xbox,
Yeah,
like
just like
it'd make funny noises, and it's like, oh, you're going to ruin this thing. So Sony is planning on releasing the digital edition, and this is something that is an interesting business move for them. One, it's probably going to be about $50 cheaper, if not a little more, because a 4K Blu-ray drive is about that much cheaper. And the other reason is if you don't have a disc, you can't go to GameStop if it exists in this holiday season, or Best Buy or any of those other places. You have to go to the PlayStation Store, and so PlayStation doesn't have to share any of that money with any of these other distribution lines. So they make even more money. So they're like, we'll give you a $50 discount, but then we got you hooked. You have to get your games from us at 5 KB a second because their download
Yeah.
speeds are
It's
garbage.
I
terrible.
need that in the next presentation, Joe, for them to be like, our speeds are at minimum or at
7.
maximum this. Even if you're paying for a connection of 1 gig, our not gig, because that would be too fast. Even if you're paying for 50 megabits per second, we will give you 1,000 megabits
Yes.
per second. No, because it just downloads so goddamn
It takes
slow.
forever, and then like especially the PlayStation updates. You're like,
I-
I got a couple hours. I'm on lunch. I don't have
oh
anything
my
to do.
God,
And then it's like
shut
now I have to update my
up.
PlayStation, and it's gonna take 4 hours, and I have to sit here
Yeah,
and do nothing.
I was gonna download Warzone, the whole thing.
Yeah.
and
Oh
like, all right.
no!
3 days.
Yeah.
It's like I ain't got time for that. Never mind.
Yeah, like there's just too much stuff to do to wait for speeds of that download. But that's something that they're trying to do now. Xbox is doing something similar, right? We know that they had something called Project Lockhart, but that one was talking about having like a pared down system as well. So you're talking about maybe a little bit slower, a little bit less memory, a downgraded GPU for people who wanted like a budget option that weren't going to play. They didn't care that the graphics weren't as good. So we're talking about. We still don't know the price. We're getting into, but we're going to have a price where we know what's going to be happening. Now, speaking of price, there were some leaks.
Yeah, people were sending me screenshots. Like, oh, it's $700, $699. It's like
We got
eh.
screenshots from websites in Asia
I
that
heard
had.
somebody tell me there was either you or Jar, and I just went. I'm like, that's not fucking.
Yeah, so we got ones posted on Amazon UK and ones posted in an Asian electronics store where the Amazon UK had it at £599, about $750 US. The Asian website it had it about $699 US. They already have controller prices and everything else. Now, according to Amazon, those were just template and placeholder prices and images. Now now we don't know if that's for sure.
No. There's no
That is so
fucking
much
way.
higher than everyone had expected, right?
Nah, it's probably just, a bunch of people trying to deflate the excitement of the PS4. There's no way. I will be shocked.
Yeah.
I will be. It will be a colossal disaster if that's the price.
Yeah, we had seen the bunch of experts had said that the manufacturing costs were about $450 per unit, and if that's the case,
It's not going to be the cost though. It's going to
Usually
be 500 maximum. Period. I'm calling it now. Ain't no
500
way.
max?
Ain't no way it's going to be more than $500.
I think it is.
You think it's going to be 600?
I think $499 is about right for the image. If it's cost $450, and then you tack in R&D and shipping and all those things, I think that if they make zero money on it at $499, they'll be happy because they know they've got hundreds of millions of people on the PSN network, and they want to give them this new thing, and they're okay with either breaking even or losing money on the consoles because then they got you hooked on the games, and so that's where they're really going to make their money. So
Calling in now. $499, 500 here. Joe says 600.
$5.99.
$599.
$4.99.
Now we are getting new information from Xbox this next month, right in July. We don't have official prices on either. Do you think that they're going to be priced the same, or do you think
The
that
Same.
you think they're going to be priced exactly the same?
Yep.
That you think that they're talking to each other about what they're pricing?
I don't know.
I don't think that's
Colluding?
Yeah,
I
don't
have
think
no
so.
idea.
We have games. What do you have?
Yeah.
I don't know
Oh.
why, but the Xbox Series X just kind of feels to me still like a side console. It still feels like one of the versions of the Xbox, current Xbox. And I guess their presentation is really going to have to change that to be like, no, this is the Xbox 720, man.
Yeah.
This is the Xbox 2, 1, 2. This is the Xbox 1.1.
The Xbox number 2.
They fucked themselves with
Yeah.
the numbering. That's why when they went to the sex box. This is the Xbox
Series
Xbox
X.
Series X.
Series
SX.
X, triple X
Just put an E in there.
for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to see where the pricing goes. I'm curious to see how much cheaper the digital version is. I don't think I would be going for the digital version. I still think that renting
like I
video
said-
games is still a good deal on certain games, and there's still a bunch of places to rent video games, like Redbox and others. So I think I will be springing for one with the digital drive just because I don't want to spend $60. Yeah, it's a good deal if you're like I'm not sure I want to buy this thing, or I know that the game is only 8 hours long, so I don't want to spend $60 on it. I'll spend $5 on it and beat it in a weekend. So I think I'm going to go for the slightly more expensive one, especially since I use the PlayStation 4 right now as like my Blu-ray machine. So it's just like I watch Blu-rays on it, and it's my Netflix
Yeah.
box, and so
Maybe we should talk to Redbox. It seems like a good option for our audience because we have so many fucking games that are shit, and then you pay $60 for.
yeah.
I don't know. It seems like a good deal. Do you have to return it?
Yeah.
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 You don't get to
that's
keep
old
it.
school.
They charge you.
Yeah,
Right,
charge
yeah.
you. What happens? Do they have late fees?
Yeah, you have it. It's like $5 for 3 days or 2 days or something like that, and then every period after you just have to pay like the late. It's not a huge late fee, but
It's a throwback to the Blockbuster days.
yeah, and they're on every single corner. It's nice for some games. I do it often enough that it's like I'm gonna get.
So
the job.
what I mean is, obviously you don't have the store, so you eject the disc back in that machine, and
Yeah.
okay, cool, interesting.
All right. Well, that's all that we've got for this one. We'll just have to see what the prices of these two consoles are, but I'm very curious to see. I'm hoping that Microsoft does something to blow your mind
They
because
have to.
Yeah, I want them to.
The
I
SM
want
that
them to.
trip.
I want them to so bad.
yeah, because Forbes, Bloomberg, all these companies are estimating that the PlayStation 5 is going to outsell the Xbox Series X at least 2-1, and I want to see the Xbox succeed because I want more games
Competition's
coming out.
always
Yeah,
great.
so I want to see all sorts of new games come out for both of them. So
I even give
Yeah.
them the benefit of the doubt since they've been, downtrodden and been losing recently. But it does seem like they're doing the right things, buying up the game companies and making games, and not focusing on
They're playing the late
Connect or
game.
TV or entertainment hub. No, games.
games. That's what we want
Games.
is the games.
Okay,
It's not where you start.
games.
Where you
Stop
fi-
it. Stop it. Stop it. All right. Well, that's all that we've got for this week.
Thank you very much for watching. Check out the links down below. Support Manscaped. They support the Angry Joe Show. It's a great-ass product. We all have one. And consider maybe picking one up for Father's Day. Father's Day is...
Nose hair, ear hair trimmers, they've got
yes,
everything.
and my ear hair and nose hair goes ridiculously fast. I inherited that from my grandpa, so I actually use it, and it's good, guys. Seriously. So take care of yourself. Look good. Feel good. All right.
Your
All
balls
right.
will thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Monday. We've got two AJS news for you this week.
And we have a return of one of our favorite sponsors with a really awesome video. You're going to like it, I think. Check it out. Oh, my God. I am so glad quarantine is relaxing, Joe. It has been so long since... is for links down below. Safe Whacker.
That entire part of their company. So is kind of
All right, guys, let's get to the news.
all right. Well, the first one I want to talk about today is kind of a rumor, but AT&T, who they own Time Warner, which means they own Warner Brothers, which means they own Warner Brother Games. Apparently, are interested in moving that entire part of their company. So
WB Games?
WB Games. So they're in talks of selling that division of Warner Brothers, or Warner Brothers Interactive. And that's huge, right? Because they own TT Games, they own Rocksteady, right? So they own NetherRealms, they own Monolith, Avalanche, WB Games, Boston, Montreal, New York, San Diego, and San Francisco, Portkey Games. And so this is Mortal Kombat. This is Lord of the Rings. This is Harry Potter. This is like
What?
this is DC.
Why?
So they own all of these different things. Well, I mean, they purchased a huge amount.
It seems like that's the division that would make them money.
Yeah, but so there are a lot of companies that are interested, right? So apparently,
What are some?
Take-Two, EA, and Activision Blizzard, which would be terrible.
No!
They have the money.
No!
Of course they have the money.
No! Anti-monopoly, break them up. Break it up.
Yeah.
Hey, break it up.
So I do worry. The second I started
No.
reading this, I was just like, I was
No.
thinking about because they own Lord of the Rings. It's like one ring to rule them all. I just had this nightmare vision of EA putting on the one ring and just having control of all of these franchises that I love, and just go, they're all mine now. It's like, no, I don't want that.
Okay, so initially when I saw this, my first snap reaction was like, good. They run terribly, and I hate them, right? You know, but at least some of the people in charge. Some of the people are very good.
Yes.
But some of them aren't. And the ones that are the decision makers. So I was like, all right, well, hey, this might be a fresh, upper management or what, the higher execs, and get a fresh mentality in there. And then I realized what are the companies interested in buying.
There's
them, and I was
always
like, oh,
worse.
Yeah, there's always
There's
more.
always worse.
and then I was really, why even sell it off? I guarantee you it makes money. They just want to manage less. They
Yeah.
just want to not deal with it. I don't understand. It's definitely not, something that loses them money as far as I'm aware. I just find it perplexing, and I hope this story doesn't get worse. So you're getting the whiff of it right now.
Who
Like,
farted?
who did that?
Who did that? And
And
then it's
we're
just the
gonna
first
see.
wave. It's just, oh no, it's terrible.
We're gonna see if somebody shits the bed
Smell
here.
popcorn?
Yeah, oh, you're the worst.
Whiff of it right now.
So it's potentially horrible. We're going to keep you updated if we get more information, but there's not a lot of companies in the running that I want to see them own any of those franchises because,
They'll fuck it up.
yeah, they'll fuck it up. I mean, EA did what with the Star Wars license, and you want to give them Batman, you want to give them Superman, you want to give them Mortal Kombat.
Do you want his
Well,
gadgets?
maybe they will make
gonna
a
cost
Superman
you.
game.
Yeah.
At least, maybe.
But you have to pay to fly.
Maybe. Wait, they did make a Superman game and it was a piece of shit. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. Superman 64, not 64, Superman Xbox.
Well, you brought up pieces of shit, and so let's keep that train rolling. The next story, Riot Games executive Ron Johnson resigned / fired /
yeah.
suspended. Like, all of the news stories were different. Some of them were, he's like, he was put on leave, and some said he was fired, and some said he resigned. But anyway, he
What did he say?
put a bunch of stuff on Facebook, saying, hey, I don't support police violence, but if you live a life of crime, this is what's going to happen, and everyone realized that's definitely not the kind of thing you put on Facebook. You're a piece of shit, especially from Riot, who's had PR issues recently because they have other executives that like to hump their employees, fart in their faces, grab their balls. They won't, and that person is still there. That person was not fired. So I was curious when this story broke. It's like, is this guy going to get fired, or are they going to be
You're
like
on the moral high ground over there, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right.
So
Judging other people who are trying to turn their lives around. It doesn't matter what the hell happened. The dude did not deserve to fucking die in police custody. And when you speak out, you quickly find out, and when some of these people were commenting on it, you quickly find who are the fucking morons in the room, who are the conspiracy theorists in the room, and all these dumb things is disgusting. And they were like, oh, you're gone.
You're gone. You're
gone.
Yeah, I mean, Riot is in a spot where they could do nothing but fire this person, especially with all of the other problems they've
But
had
this
recently.
is not this isn't the butt farter, the farting butt. The
No,
guy who farts on people.
No, that's a different
It's
executive.
a different guy.
Yeah, so it's the kind of executives that Riot Games has seemed to pick up. And everyone's like, no, it's not an old boys club. It's like, what?
man.
No, who are you
Yeah.
recruiting? Stop. Whoever's your hiring manager, fire that person, right? Just have them fire themselves and hire a new person, because you need to clean up your boardroom.
Yeah. If you're gonna be a CEO and you're gonna be making millions of dollars, shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Seriously. All right. You're in a position of extreme high privilege. We're talking yachts and shit. Like, be quiet.
Yes.
Like, how can I tarnish my company today?
But don't be
Let's tweet
quiet.
this
That's
out.
not. Well, be quiet if you have something fucking ignorant to say
Yeah.
and something inappropriate to add. Obviously.
Well, he thought it was
And
justified.
he
so-
probably thought it was
Yeah.
genius.
Yeah. I just want to know what the first draft was. Or do you think it's the kind of person that just like rereads the tweet over and deletes
Oh,
a little bit
man,
of things,
I-
sanitizes? It was like, what was the first draft?
That was it.
It's
Yeah.
First
ju-
try.
It's just being insulated, and then
Echo
not
chamber
have
type
echo
lifestyle.
chambers and not having to deal with it, and then getting something that will counter the story and then latching onto it,
Yeah.
whether it's true or not, or whether that's the overall point of all of this or not. It doesn't matter. It's just a way to try to dismiss something, and then you're like, but why are you dismissing it? Why are you shitting on it?
Yeah.
If you get to the crux of that, then you'll find some ugliness sometimes. Anyways, they don't want to be associated with them anymore.
No, absolutely not.
But it's a little hypocritical because you're still hiring the guy who's like a fucking
Humping and farting
and
Still
saying
there.
inappropriate things.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. Ryan, they're a mess in terms of how they, their HR
Management.
department. I do not envy that job.
Yeah, I mean, he has the right to say whatever he wants, but
Sure.
you know that Riot has all of these things in place for the last year where you cannot tweet these things. There's been so many. We're talking about anti-China. Remember, Riot is 100% owned by Tencent Games. Like, there's all of these things that you cannot do, and for a person to go out, it's like, what did you expect to happen? You were going to get fired. You were going to have to resign. Go back to Nickelodeon. He was an executive at Nickelodeon before, so I don't know if they'll take him back or who's going to take this person back. But anyway, so that was the second piece of shit story. Do you want to go on to the next one? You want
Is it another
depressing?
piece of
There's a
shit?
third
Oh.
piece of
There's
shit.
there's a real
God
depressing one.
Damn it.
So I was reading this
News.
story,
Third piece of shit.
and it just got more and more depressing as I was reading it. So PUBG Mobile is a really big game, right?
Is it a piece of shit?
Probably
a piece
It's
of
a
shit
mobile
if it's
game
mobile,
with
I
it's
don't know.
overly monetized.
Okay.
And I was thinking,
That's
we
usual.
talk about how much video game companies make and what
Right.
they're worth. Do you want to guess roughly what PUBG made in 1 month in May?
That's got to be something huge. 1 month, we're talking, $10 million in a month.
15.
226 million.
Fuck!
226 in 1 month.
No.
In a month.
226 million in
a quarter
revenue.
of $1 billion in a single month.
Yeah. So if you were depressed about
Kids, stop! Stop buying the fucking transactions. They're just skins. You're gonna ruin gaming. You're gonna ruin the rest of the game.
yeah.
No. Okay, this has actually been happening for a while in the mobile area. I mean, what do you think about Clash of Clans? More importantly, Call of Duty Mobile, which is an actual fucking scam piece of shit, garbage, ripping people off. I've done videos. Go look for the Angry Rant on Call of Duty Mobile if you want to blow out your speakers. And I'm guarantee you that PUBG is doing the same bullshit
without a
to
doubt.
get to that fucking number.
Yeah.
Well,
What do you?
It was a lot.
whatever. If you're, that's where the idiots spend their money.
So we're getting to the point where, so it's like the PUBG, Roblox, Monster Strike, Coin Master. There's a
Hey,
bunch.
don't talk no shit about Roblox, boy.
Well, they're making a ton of money. So they're all making an incredible amount of money
I'd rather
every month.
play Roblox and fucking PUBG.
But you're going to spend
Mobile.
$1,000 a month on Roblox microtransactions. What is depressing about this story is we talk about how much money things like standalone games that aren't overly monetized, how much money they make, how much time they take to develop, and it's a lot and not very much, respectively, right? They take a huge amount of time in development and writing, and most of the effort goes into just making the game. Now, these games, they take a lot less effort to make,
And
they're
the payout.
and the payout is so much higher. They make so much more money that if you're concerned, like we are, about the direction that gaming is taking, you have to be fucking worried. If PUBG makes $226 million, PUBG Mobile does, they're going to stop making. There's going to be a point in a boardroom or at a game company that goes, they're going to see stories like this and go,
look at this.
the fuck are we doing story-driven RPGs that are going to make $226 million lifetime, take years to do? Why don't we just make a fucking garbage mobile game and we could potentially make that in 1 month? And that's what I worry about the future
Yeah,
of
it's
gaming.
less time, more money.
Yeah. So, really depressing.
Oh, it is.
It just the mobile. I will say there's some good mobile games that are free, and you want to kick $5 or $10, but then there are ones that just are so greedy and so
Paywalls and
manipulative
stuff.
and so boosters and paywalls and this and that. That it's difficult. It's difficult, and I just don't want to get it. We have to hold the line. Hold the line, Joe.
Break it
Hold the
apart.
line.
It's breaking apart. I'm trying.
Single
We need some
column.
flex tape.
Single column.
Flex tape is our hero right now.
Yeah.
Flex tape.
Not even
I'm over
flex tape.
here in battle mode, Joe, and you're over here in
He's got
roll.
roll
I'm
tape.
taping
Billy
stuff up,
Mays.
man.
All right, fine.
It's a hard
We'll-
battle. It's a
You
hard
bring
battle.
them tape, I'll bring the sword.
We'll,
right.
we'll see.
All right. Well, I got some more real fun
Sad
news.
Fun news. Go
Okay. There
Make
is a
me
game
smile
called
today.
Galaxy Heroes. It is a mobile game.
Okay,
that is-
so admission here, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is one of those mobile games that I did play. Way back in the day, I think Total Biscuit was talking about it. And initially, these types of games are huge money sinks.
Yes.
But this one you could play for free, and it didn't seem that bad at the time. But, it's one of those games that go for whales. In fact, there's now a new terminology called Krakens.
Yeah.
And you can guess how much a Kraken will spend. We'll
Oh,
get to it.
God.
But, I will admit, I played that one. It was fun. I know. I played it, but I did not spend no exuberant amounts of money or anything in that.
All right.
And so I was like, okay, some of these actually have a little bit of tactics and strategy to it. But when I see how far they go with the microtransactions, and I learned that basically to be competitive in the game, you literally have to spend hundreds of dollars a month.
Yes.
And that's probably chump change compared to what other people are spending.
The
if you-
Kraken.
the Kraken, if you want to be at the top of the charts or if you want to have the 5 stars, this and that. And I was like, no, fuck this. I'm out. Not even I can put up with that, even though some of the core gameplay is all right.
Okay. So Capital Games makes Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, and they've
Yeah.
got a pretty decent following online. And one of the biggest content creators for them, Onel T101.
And a bunch of people tweeted at me
Yeah,
saying,
the-
Joe, you need to check this out.
Yeah, and so what had happened was he's been kind of he's a big proponent of the game, loves playing it, makes a lot of content. But
I
he's
think
also
got
really
a great production value. I watched one of his videos. He's like in his Admiral
Yeah.
outfit, and he's got like I'm like, oh, I'm jealous. I'm gonna steal that, or I'm gonna put a I want when we talk about Star Wars, I want to set up like this.
Yeah.
I want to talk to this guy, see how he's got it. But EA or Capital Games
banned him.
banned him for what?
So he had been making a bunch of videos very critical of the game because he plays the game a lot. It's like the core focus of the channel.
Yeah.
Oh, he was talking shit.
And
you
he
can't do that.
He'd been talking shit.
You
Now,
can't do that.
apparently, he didn't realize that when you talk shit, you get hit. Yeah. And then what happened was he had.
Oh, you play our game? Oh, you promote our game?
Yeah.
Did you say something bad?
What happened
No,
was
you
Again.
No, you go buy Ray. You go buy Ray.
Yeah, you have to buy Ray and
go
Kylo.
buy the 5-star Kylo Ray.
Nope.
Raylo.
Yeah, because it's $1,000. Oh, been critical of the game, and that's not why he got banned, but that's why he got
Oh.
banned. What the technical reason is because someone had given him an account to use to make for content.
Yep.
Now this was one of the whale accounts. Someone had spent $50,000+ on their account, which is it's so infuriating to hear
Excuse
that
me?
someone.
That's a Kraken.
How
Joe.
much?
$50,000 in a mobile game. No. That's crazy.
$50,000,
That's crazy.
and that's not.
That's got to be a Saudi
What the
prince. That's crazy, Joe.
It's absolutely absurd, right? And so he had
Yes.
used that account to make some content that you cannot do because if the Capital Games says if you want
Because
to.
it probably has everything unlocked.
Yeah, everything's unlocked. It's like, look, you want to get up to that level? Great, give me $50,000. And so they banned him because one, he broke the terms of service, which is true. He did break the terms of service. You can't do that. But two, ultimately, they probably banned him because he's been talking shit and bringing to light some of the horrible things that they've been doing.
Yeah.
So on one hand, it's like, look, you cannot talk shit about these companies and then break the rules. You have to follow the rules if you're going to do that. I mean, we get banned from gun companies all the damn time, and we don't even have to follow terms of service. It's like, oh, I don't like your game. Blacklisted.
Here's
Oh
what
no.
here's what makes it extra spicy is the fact that I think he was a game changer at one point, and he started making other videos like memes, you know, so looking up memes on the internet and Star Wars themed ones too. I think he started talking about General Grievous or some side thing, or maybe even Battlefront talking shit. And then he got an email from the program Game Changers. You know, we're going to revoke your Game Changers status. We
Yes.
cannot be associated with this, and you need to stop making these videos. So pull these videos down. They were like, literally, we're giving you until this amount of time to pull your video. As a content creator, I'd be like, the fuck you say to me?
no.
Is that blackmail? No, not technically, but yes.
Shut you. Yeah, I know. It's just some scummy shit,
Yeah,
and I don't
it's
know
very
if
bad.
it's it's Capital Games, and I don't know if EA knows what Capital Games is doing, but they're doing some shady.
They're making serious
motherfucking
money, so
shit.
what does it matter, right?
Ex-
EA's
right.
like, oh, you made
You
how
do
much
whatever
money?
the fuck
One
you
guy
want.
spent $50,000 on your crappy mobile game. Yeah. You
Yeah.
keep doing what you're doing.
Right, and he was saying, and he sent an email back with like, I want you to show me the parts that are unacceptable.
Yeah.
But even in his email, I was like, okay, I'll take it. It's like, no, stop sucking. EA's cock like that. This is why I was in Game Changers one time, and then I was like, we're out because of what all the when you read
You
the
have
fine
to do
print, you're like,
this.
hell no,
You-
I'm out. Because I thought naively that we could actually change the game.
Yeah.
We can actually
To be so young and naive.
Come
I know,
on.
right? But you basically say, "Here's what you need to do to fix the game," and everybody will love it, and they'll be like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
More money, please.
The other part of the story is he tried to bring up the hypocrisy is what he's saying. He's like, well, other people do bad stuff too. Other people break your terms of service, and brought up an additional
Because
pile
other
of
people are boosting account. In order to be a Galaxy of Heroes, YouTuber, you have to use boosted accounts,
Yeah.
and he probably doesn't have $50,000
to do all the
to do the videos to make content interesting for the herds that would spend money. Like, well, don't do it.
Yeah, because if that was the case, it's like, all right, well, let's play this game for an hour. I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
And then we
I
have
have
to
my
write-
I have my time
we
limit.
have to do it. That's I wasted my
The
time.
way we play.
yeah,
it's
that's what
like,
I did too. I was
all
like,
right, we made
all
one,
right.
2 videos.
Well-
We're getting killed every fucking time. So see you next week
Yeah.
where we'll
we'll
continue
get
to get
some
killed.
more. It's like, no.
Until our
boosters.
timer runs out. We'll see. Oh my God, fuck it.
So the Capital Games has done stuff that's scummy, where people were caught cheating, they were caught hacking, they were doing all sorts of things against terms of service, and they would like even email the hackers and be like, "Hey, I have to ban you. I don't want to, but I got to.
Yeah.
So you let me know when the ban's good for you. It's got to be only a week, but you get to let me know when it's going to be. But please,
You
please,
let us know when you want your vacation.
yeah, it's going to be a temporary vacation from our content. And so look, Capital Games is
Double standard.
yeah, it's a scummy type of thing, but I mean, when you're a content creator, like these companies, like they're vicious. They hold grudges,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
PR people. You piss them off, and you're like, "Oh, you wanted early access to something?" No, I remember what you said to me in an elevator 5 years
this
ago.
Is why
I-
we don't play that shit.
No,
Homie, don't play that shit.
Nope.
you can't. You just can't get involved in any of that stuff because.
sock.
Yes.
Homie, don't play. Look it up.
All right, the last story
I'll put it up
is an update to one that we covered a couple months ago. We're going to test.
Well, no,
OJ.
hold on. Let me.
You wanna go
let
back
me,
to that?
let
Yeah.
me just give the final thoughts there. So yes, Arnold or Arnold.
Arnold T. Yes.
I love Arnold. No, but I don't know what other videos he's done. To, if they like, well, fuck him. We don't want to work with him. Maybe he said something inappropriate. I don't know none of that. What I know is it is extremely scummy. It is inappropriate for them to try to push you around, make you do content the way they want you to do the content. That is unacceptable. And then to turn a blind eye to other people boosting their accounts and then suddenly seeing you and banning you for doing it
You got to make an
because you
example.
were talking about
One-
something else and stuff like.
Yeah.
So it's like, screw that company, and hey, you want to ally with the devil? Well, guess what?
So you got burned a little bit. but-
Eventually, he's gonna come out and he's gonna.
Came to collect my due.
Yeah. Don't play shitty mobile games anyway. Stop it.
Eventually, it's gonna happen. So like, it's a fucked up thing, and they shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. And if they want to set rules, they need everybody to follow the rules.
Yes.
But nobody
Don't-
does that though.
Right. That's not the way the real world.
No,
works.
they love having that dangling sword over your head. That's just like, just post one video we don't like.
Maybe.
They have a list of things that you've done wrong in the past, and the second you do one thing they don't like, it's like banned.
I'd like to say this is the beginning of the end for Galaxy of Heroes.
Oh, they haven't done
but-
content in months.
but-
Yeah.
But here's the thing, maybe they'll do some Mandalorian stuff when the new Star Wars stuff comes out. Maybe that game will be extended. I don't know, but maybe they need new management or just enforce the rules fairly amongst everybody. And that's it. That's if you want to play the game. And
Don't stop it. Please find something else
play
to do.
play it for free, because I do think it's a fun game. But you're gonna be able to play it for like 3 days and then you're done.
Yeah, and you can't
Because you're not
play it
gonna-
seriously if
yeah.
you're not paying money.
You're
and
not
if you
gonna
can't
be able to do it. Right.
All right. Now, to test OJ, we reported a while back that 160,000 Nintendo accounts had been breached, right? So all of their information, emails, some for some of them even payment information. That was a couple months ago. And we're like, oh, dude, 160,000 is a ton. Well, it turns out we got information this week that Nintendo's revealed an additional 140,000 were also impacted by a sudden surge of third-party attempting to gain access to accounts. Did you change your account password?
Did I? I don't even remember it.
Well, that
So, nope.
no, you did not. You
Damn
probably should. So this was a pretty large breach. Some people were getting fraudulent account purchases made on their accounts, and most people don't check any of those things. It's like auto-paid
I-
information. So I don't believe you.
I do check my account. I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
all right, nothing weird here, but I have not changed my password.
Okay, so you should change your password, and if you're one of those people that potentially had their accounts breached, just change your password anyway. Capitals, numbers, special characters if they allow that. Because they were stealing all that information. Now, what's kind of scummy here is Nintendo kind of slept on this information for months. They've known for months that stuff was out there, but they're just like, oh no, nothing bad had happened with them, so we're not going to let you know. And then there was
Objection.
this new surge of account breaches. So A little bit of a problem.
Yeah, thanks, Nintendo.
Yeah.
It was a real shitty thing for you to fucking do. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I need to set an alarm for that.
Yeah, but he's
Don't forget.
check your Nintendo stuff. All right. Well, so that's a little update for that, and that's all we've got for this video, unless you got anything that you want to add. All right. So make sure you check out the next
Covered it
video.
all.
This is one of 2, and make sure you click the link down below for Manscaped.
Manscaped, thank you so much for supporting the Angry Joe Show. If the Angry Army can go out, click those links, see if it's something you might want to consider picking up for your father or for yourself or for a friend. There's some special deals right now, 20% off. You get free shipping. Use our code down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and watch that second video. See you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.
like buzzwords. But look, you know, game trailers were there. We saw stuff. I have to go back and see bullet point list of what we saw again just to remind myself. But I definitely saw some things there that I'm interested in. Yeah, so look, overall, I think it was an okay event. I definitely enjoyed it. Didn't blow me away, no knockout punches, but, you know, I had a fairly good time watching it.
Yeah, I
so.
think now we've kind of got through the bulk of E3's announcements, apart from Cyberpunk's going to be later on. We're going to see EA, but, like, we kind of know that there's going to be a Rogue Squadron game and maybe, you know, some new new, you know, FIFA and shit or whatever, right? But
Yeah.
I feel like we might have now gone over the hump of, like, new exciting
Sure.
things that may be dropping.
Well, then you've got Xbox next month in July, and you're
Yes.
going to have something from Switch, from Nintendo.
Yes.
Other than that, I don't know.
I mean,
So.
I'm guessing we're going to see some remasters. They did say this was going to be a huge year for Mario because it is the
25th? No.
25th?
Is that right? It feels like it should be longer.
I
It
think
has to be. No, it has to be
No,
longer.
1995 is that when Mario 64 came out.
Oh, yeah. Is it the anniversary of Mario 64?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's either that or it's the anniversary of Mario. But
No, because Mario is like the
It's like
70s or
1940s.
something.
No, but they did say that there's going to be a multiple show announcements over the course of the year. So we've already seen that Mario Sunshine photo, and everyone's like, okay, we're seeing a Mario Sunshine. I don't know. We've already seen the Paper Mario announcement. So I'm looking forward to see what they do. But
For sure.
Future Game Show, I would say pretty much a success for its first show.
Absolutely. I think
I
they
would
did it.
say
I
so.
think that this is a worthy format to replicate. It felt fairly tight and punchy. If they had some bigger reveals and announcements, I feel like that would have been a fantastic show. Overall, I think it was an okay show, a good show. A good to okay. I know the chat's very disappointed with it. I'm seeing lots of 3 out of 10s and lots of Fs in the chat. But look, you know, I don't go into these things expecting them to be as big as a Microsoft showcase or a like a PlayStation showcase. It's run by Games Radar, you know, and I think that as a publication, they put on a good show.
And PC Game Show also, like, you know, we've been to those events. It's a tiny room, you know. Like, I think it's like it's still in its infancy, even if it's been around for a while. But I'm glad these are here because, again, a lot of these games never would have been seen unless these smaller kind of events were put on. So they are actually, you know, very important.
Agreed. So the next event that I have in the calendar is probably going to be the EA event or something. I can't exactly see.
We may be coming into the office tomorrow at Aussie time tomorrow to cover if there's a lot.
There's a Star Wars reveal which we might cover tomorrow, but then there's also going to be an EA Play show. I don't have the date now, and there's also a Ubisoft show. They're the two that I forgot to mention. So there's still more news coming. It's going to be cool. I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the
so
super
much.
chats. Thank you to the members. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to Zendru and Nitro for being here. And we're going to go to bed because I'm tired.
Actually, I'm the type, if I sleep during the day, I won't sleep tonight. It's so annoying. Anyway, guys, love you, appreciate you. Laying it out. Actually, I'm the type, if I sleep during the day, I won't sleep tonight. It's so annoying. Anyway, guys, love you, appreciate you. Laying it out.
This year, the sponsors are mythical. Perfect World, Funcom, Frontier Developments, Exceed Games, Atlas, Intel.
Released the 16-inch MacBook Pro, there was something about this machine that was unprecedented. The fact that it could be equipped with up to 8 terabytes of high-speed NVMe storage. There was nothing like that available for the PC. That is, until now. This right here is the Sabrent 8 terabyte M.2 NVMe drive available for you to upgrade your laptop with, and I'm about to use it to make this Asus G14 very, very happy. Glasswire is the tool that shows you which apps are slowing down your connection in real time. It's used by security pros to monitor for malware, block bandwidth wasters, and detect suspicious activity. Get 25% off with offer code Linus down below. In real time. It's used by security pros to monitor We'll start by taking a closer look at the SSD itself, but unfortunately, not this one, because it's got its stickers, which actually act as a heat spreader pre-applied. Instead, Sabrent actually sent over one that's got the stickers separate here. You can actually see the thin line of copper along the edge of it. That is a lot of NAND flash loaded onto an M.2. That is kind of incredible, actually. Here, I want to peel off this sticker as well. That is one void warranty, ladies and gentlemen. What we're looking at here is a Phison E12S controller with support for up to 8 channels. Even though it's PCI Express Gen 3, I would still expect pretty solid performance out of this. But what's really notable here is the fact that in order to fit all of these NAND packages onto this M.2, they actually had to shrink the package size of the controller itself so they could fit not just the NAND flash, but also the controller and not one, but there you go, 2 8GB DDR3 memory dies. So the reason that you need this memory is in order to store the actual physical locations of the data on the NAND flash for the controller itself. And the more flash you have, the more DRAM you need. So that's a total of 2 gigs of RAM on this SSD. That's right, my friends, this SSD has more memory on it than a lot of Chromebooks. A ton of DRAM and flash chips isn't enough to get to 8 terabytes of capacity though. They're using 96-layer QLC flash from Micron, and QLC has a benefit. That is that you can store 4 bits per cell rather than 3 bits per cell in TLC or 2 bits per cell in MLC. The downside of that, sorry, excuse me one moment, I just have to unvoid my warranty here real quick. Not actually how that works. The downside of that is that the endurance and especially write performance of QLC flash is not as good compared to NAND that stores fewer bits per cell. However, Sabrent actually has a trick up their sleeves, and I'm going to tell you about it actually while I'm opening up the laptop here. It's kind of amazing how heavy this thing is, even without the copper sticker, just having twice as many NAND packages on it. It's crazy. It's almost like the storage has weight to it. SLC caching is a performance boosting trick that SSD manufacturers have been using for quite some time. And what it does is it can take up to, in this case, a quarter of the device's capacity, so that's 2 terabytes, and run it in SLC mode. So that would be effectively about 512 gigs, meaning that it will write at a very high rate temporarily until you use up that cache, and then it will rely on some idle time in order to convert it over to QLC, where it will be stored more efficiently, but at lower performance. Now, on lower capacity drives, this type of caching can manifest as very inconsistent performance. For example, if you were copying a file off of, say, a RedMag onto your laptop, it'll copy at a super high speed for the first little bit, and then absolutely tank because you get not only the penalty of dropping down to TLC or QLC write performance, but the poor drive is struggling to do garbage collection in the background. Thing is, with such a high capacity drive, the likelihood of needing to copy more than like 512 gigs of data in one shot is relatively low. So it's a strategy that makes a ton of sense. With that said, I suspect the 550K IOPS random reads and 660K IOPS random writes that the drive is rated for are while it's operating under ideal conditions. And none of that does anything about one of QLC's biggest pitfalls, and that is its endurance. So you can expect somewhere in the neighborhood of around 1,800 terabytes written with this thing. as an expected lifespan. Holy bananas. In many cases, M.2 mounts for which there's no real standard of thickness, as Mark Cerny actually pointed out in the PlayStation 5 architectural discussion for M.2. So you might run into slots where they're not actually designed for an M.2 that's got chips on both sides. Now, this drive looks like we're gonna get away with kind of chonking it on there like that, and it actually seems like this thermal pad is well positioned to take care of cooling our controller down here, so that's good. I'm trying to remember which side the controller's on. Nope, not this one, so that's, never mind, that's kind of a bummer. But, well, hopefully Sabrent's customizations that they say they made to the Phison controller to keep CPU power under control are gonna keep it cool enough. Apparently with all these NAND chips on here, this thing can get pretty toasty. Ooh, it's flexing, boys. I don't like it. This is a lot of freaking laptop in a very, very small space. We got Ryzen 9. We got 8 terabytes of storage. 2060 with Max-Q. First things first, your classic Crystal Disk Mark. Look at that. That is nuts. Even just seeing that. 6.98 terabytes. That's your Windows install. Little tiny sliver. Right out of the gate, we're seeing exactly what I was talking about here. These are some nice PCI Express Gen 3x4 numbers right here for our reads. And look at that. There's no apparent QLC penalty for writes because it's using that SLC cache, and this benchmark is only about 1 gig of data. If you think about your daily life, how often are you writing more than a few gigs, or at worst, maybe 100 gigs of data on a large game install at one time? In Atto, some of the weaknesses of the drive get revealed though. So while our stock drive was definitely going to be bottlenecked when it comes to just raw sequential throughput thanks to its PCIe Gen 3 2x rather than 4x interface, this one right here, the 8 terabyte drive, ends up struggling a little bit when it comes to very, very small transfers. And that can be very meaningful to real world performance because a lot of the things that you do as you're just navigating around your operating system involve moving very small amounts of data. Driving this point home is the PC Mark X storage benchmark, where our Rocket Q falls about 25% behind in terms of access latency compared to our Intel 660p, which, bear in mind guys, is also a QLC drive, just a 1 terabyte one rather than one that's loaded up with all these chips that supposedly had to compromise on the power consumption of the controller in order to keep its thermals under control. So, is the performance of the Rocket Q 8 terabyte groundbreaking by any stretch of the imagination? No. But is it a solid enough looking drive that has 8 freaking terabytes of storage on it and that is very unlikely to exhaust its SLC cache while you are transferring files to it? Yes. In fact, I want to test that right now. Here we go. Now, this might feel like a bit of an edge case, but I've actually run into it before where I was using a laptop that I didn't realize was actually a TLC SSD, but it had a TLC SSD, and I was just trying to copy over a bunch of Steam game files. And it was going, it's going great, everything was good, and then suddenly, bam, fell down to like 60 megabytes a second. So let's see how long this can handle it. Because the thing is, we've got high enough speed interfaces just on your typical consumer laptop now, just a simple USB Type-C 5 gigabit per second or 10 gigabit per second port, that you can actually take advantage of having an NVMe SSD in your system just by plugging in an external drive. So here we're going at 450 megabytes a second, and this transfer is going to take us half an hour. If we have a drive that conks out in the middle of that transfer, well, that could go from taking half an hour to taking hours, which if you're on location working on a project, for example, can be the difference between wrapping up at the end of the day and not. We're at over 120 gigs transferred now, and it's still going exactly as fast as it was when we started. By contrast, if we were using a 1 terabyte QLC drive with 25% of its area set aside for SLC caching, we would have seen a precipitous drop in performance, probably about halfway through what we've done so far here. 400 gigs now. I'm expecting it to crap out a little bit before 512. It's not going to be like just a nice tidy line, I don't think. We're at 256 gigs remaining, and I'm expecting it to crater at around 208. We'll see how gracefully it handles that transition between writing to the cache and writing to the slower native QLC NAND. There were some compromises. So Sabrent's compatibility is not perfect across laptops. Anthony actually tried a couple of Dells, and because of the higher power consumption of this puppy, they were not able to run it. This Asus did it okay, but your mileage may vary, so it's not just a physical limitation in terms of compatibility. We're getting close. We're getting close. We're at 220. Drum roll. 216. My fingers are getting sore. This is supposed to absolutely choke on its own self now. We're at 208 remaining. It's possible that the speed of our Red Meg, which is actually just an mSATA SSD in a fancy enclosure, we made a video about that, you can check it out here, is not fast enough to overwhelm even the native QLC write speed. Well, you would need a much, much faster medium that you're ingesting from in order for the caching to even be a problem for a sustained write like this. Well, now we know. That kind of makes sense given who the target audience is for these things. They're targeting enthusiasts, content creators, those sorts of people. So I'm glad it passed the test here. Not really expecting it to. Now that I know that they actually manage that kind of performance, I guess it makes sense. So if you guys are interested in checking this out, as always, we're gonna have it linked in the video description. iFixit's ProTech Toolkit is designed to help you tackle any electronics repair challenge. It's got over a dozen different tools, including their 64 steel screwdriver bit kit, the Jimmy, a steel flexible blade that allows for powerful prying, a small suction cup for removing glass panels from a phone or tablet, and the best part is all iFixit tools are backed by a lifetime warranty. You don't need to be a genius to fix your electronics, you just need the right tools. So visit ifixit.com/Linus and pick up your ProTech Toolkit today. If you guys enjoyed this video, we've actually got a lot more detail on QLC NAND in one of our previous videos covering Intel's first QLC drive, which you can check out right over here or at the link down below.
Tech news! Tech news! How about some tech news? If you build a PC and install macOS on it, that's called a Hackintosh, and it's usually a fun DIY project for individuals who have a lot of time to spend tearing their hair out. Well, one company thought they'd make things easier for the end user and start selling Hackintoshes. Oh, I see where this is going. OpenCore Computer has rolled out a high-end desktop called the Velociraptor, the Velocinator, which features custom hardware and a dual boot installation with Windows 10. However, unlike the real Mac Pro, the Velociraptor starts at only $21.99 US. Sounds like a sweet deal. There's only one problem. It's a really bad idea. You see, Apple likes to keep the lid shut tight on its ecosystem, and the Velociraptor is a pretty blatant violation of Apple's license agreement, meaning this chicken-sized dino could land OpenCore into some boiling hot legal water. And if they modulate the temperature slowly enough, they won't even know when it's dying. It could happen right now. Could be delicious though. Notably, OpenCore is only taking payments in Bitcoin, which might mean the company thinks it's found a legal loophole, but either way, I'd fully expect Apple's fleet of lawyers to come calling very soon.
Or their fleet of Velociraptors, they have the technology.
They're coming in Jeeps. Printers have been frustrating and angering computer users for decades now, and a couple of recent updates to Windows 10 are really helping to cement printers' infuriating legacy. Two hotfixes that were released last week are reportedly preventing many different brands of printers from printing at all. And some users have said that they can't even virtually print to a PDF, which I always thought that was stupid. Why don't you just save to a PDF? Microsoft says that they're working on the problem, which is a relief as bugs are actually crashing File Explorer altogether when the user tries to print something. This is a hell. This is a type of hell. In the meantime, using a universal PCL6 printer driver might help you if you haven't gone all Office Space on the poor thing just yet. I mean, it deserves it, but let's try to be better. The fight against loot boxes doesn't look like it's slowing down much, as a complaint was filed in the US last week at a federal court accusing Apple of unfair and deceptive business practices, violation of gambling laws, and just regular old unjust enrichment. Unjust enrichment, okay? The suit was initiated by a parent who is concerned about her son spending money on loot boxes offered by apps available on the App Store, and is now seeking class action. Apple, of course, isn't directly selling loot boxes, but the fact that they get a cut of in-app purchases is a basis for many of the claims in the complaint. I'm sure Apple's lawyers will be quick to point out, though, that the App Store allows parents to stop kids from buying anything at all. But hey, the plaintiffs win. Everybody that uses iOS might get a class action check big enough to, like, buy a slice of pizza. And that's no joke. This is pizza we're talking about. I don't even think you can get a slice of pizza. You're gonna get $2.50 or something for out of this? I doubt it. Now it's time for the quick bits, brought to you by Brilliant. If you're a student, a professional, or just someone who wants to make brain good, check out Brilliant, the website that helps you reach your learning goals by working just a little bit every day. The courses use interactive explorations and a mobile app to take complex concepts and break them into bite-sized and delicious chunks. We suggest checking out their Mathematical Fundamentals course, which has been redesigned with interactive features to help you with the foundational concepts behind algebra, number theory, and logic, which make it a great resource for STEM students. The first 200 people to head to brilliant.org/techlink will get 20% off an annual premium subscription. Quick bits for me? No, unless. Microsoft yanked support for custom gamer picks from Xbox Live during the pandemic due to decreased moderator availability, but it looks like they're now re-enabling that functionality. Hopefully, people won't use this opportunity to put anything inappropriate as their profile photo, but I want to see that. Intel's upcoming Tiger Lake CPUs are apparently going to have advanced anti-malware tech built into the silicon. It's called Control Flow Enforcement Technology, CFET, that's what I'm calling it. And it's not actually a cyberpunk arms manufacturer. It's a new way for CPUs to carry out instructions that can shut down certain attacks even if software antivirus solutions fail. It's basically like being in a castle protected by a moat full of tigers, and they're great swimmers. In a somewhat surprising move, Apple is now letting customers upgrade their own SSDs in the Mac Pro. Of course, the SSDs you'll have to use are expensive Apple-made modules, and it doesn't look like you'll be able to use off-the-shelf parts, but at least it's something. Maybe the ice around Tim Apple's heart is starting to melt.
And then it grew 3 sizes.
It's gonna have to grow a bit. He can take more than a day. He's got vacation time built up, hoarded. Sources are reporting that the Xbox Series X will be shipping with the same dashboard currently being used for the Xbox One, leading many to ask, then what's even the point of getting a new console? I mean, it's not like the Xbox is gonna be able to top Spider-Man Miles Morales. A new UI is the least Microsoft could do. Despicable. You want it to feel like a new thing when you plug it in, you know? And KFC, of all companies, decided to enter the console wars in its own way by releasing a video of its own KFC console. And yes, it's shaped like their iconic chicken bucket. Sadly, the console, which is equipped with a heated chicken chamber, is just a joke. But I am actually pretty disappointed, as I actually was looking forward to playing the Colonel Sanders dating sim at 120 FPS.
Blistering speed romance.
You
Fast
just
chicken.
just touching your controller and greasy fingers, just licking them. Finger licking gamer. That's our show. Come back on Wednesday for more tech news, coated with a secret blend of our herbs and spices and fairy blood.
You know what? That's not good. On tech? You don't want that on tech.
Finger licking fairy blood.
So the thing with water cooling is there's a few different reasons people do it. Some do it for performance, you know, getting them overclocks. Some people do it for looks, although that clearly wasn't the case here. And some do it for silence.
銃を扱う資格。
バニラと申します。訓練生として
今日からお世話になります。術師の
はいフルーツですよ。未熟者ですがこれから頑張りますよ。
Products received. Resources 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 received.
ちょっと近いわ。ちゃんとあなたを守れる自信がないのに。ちょっと見てきてくれない？ドーベルマン教官、この部屋にいないよね。この部屋に通気口はついてる？いやいや、ここ気に入った。何か飲みませんか、ドクター。良き部屋である。必要な物資はあるか？助けになろう。
まあ、ゆっくり休もうぜ。
こたつ。こたつはどこ？うわー、ロドスって広いね。スチュワード君、これからどうすればいいの？騒がしいところね。 こはどこ？
よ、ドクター。
血に飢えて戦うのは虐殺者だけだ。
出発。ドクター、ここっていい景色だね。
勝利か鹿だ。
視界は良好ね。うわ、本気で行くよ。了解。問題ないわ。集中砲火。ついてきて。
抹殺する。
特訓。
力と栄光。
祝福を。
勝利か鹿だ。当然私だろ。
私を呼び起こしてくださったのはあなたです。
3つお前を貫く。
うわ、見ちゃうところだった。うわ、見ちゃうところだった。
誰一人通すものか。
いいわ、撃て。
刀を無知となし肉体を打ち据える。
命を奪うようなことはいたしません。私がお守りします。
刀を無知となし肉体を打ち据える。
私の後ろへ
飛べ。
気をつけなさい。鈴の音来たりて風雪をまとう。
任務の時間？ちょうどいいわ。新しいアーツを試してみたいところだったから。どこかにレアな素材が落ちてたりしないかしら。
みんな助けに来たよ。
腰抜け野郎が。
わあ、リンゴちゃん、今日もよろしくね。
一気に片付けましょうか。
一気にかかってこい。
承知した。
ついてきて。
パラージュ。
わあ、リンゴちゃん、今日もよろしくね。
迎撃開始。
ビオポーネント。
どこかにレアな素材が落ちてたりしないかしら。
わあ、リンゴちゃん、今日もよろしくね。視界は良好ね。
勝利か鹿だ。
ついてきて。バラージュ。いいわ、射撃開始。
服パラージュ。本気で行くよ。行くよ。嵐のように蹂躙してやる。ドクター、ここっていい景色だね。
腰抜け野郎が。
みんなこっち来て。ちょっとからかってあげようっと。迎撃か。ディオポーレント。ビビってんじゃねえ。一気に片付けましょうか。了解。リンゴちゃん、今日もよろしくね。
ここからは
ロックンロール。
私の後ろへ。
私を呼び起こしてくださったのはあなたですね。
3つお前を貫く。
ディオポーレント。リンゴちゃん、今日もよろしくね。寝ちゃうところだった。寝ちゃうところだった。
はじめ私がついている。
アップルパイ。ロックンロール。用意決定。集中砲火。
私がついている。
気をつけなさい。我らが神よ、お聞きください。
私がついている。心配無用だ。この歩み進めてゆけばいつか必ず。
よ、ドクター。 わよ。みんなの面倒はちゃんと見てあげるわよ。浮上は清めなければ。ロックンロール。ビビってんじゃねえ。迎撃開始。クズだ。視界は良好ね。祝福を。射撃開始。ビビってんじゃね
え。承知した。
カードを引くがよい。射撃開始。この一手でチェックメイトだ。射撃開始。ちょっとからかってあげようっと。力と栄光を。潜伏開始。整いました。鈴の音来たりて風雪をまとう。ディオボーレント。やってやるってんだ。準備できた。やってやるってんだ。かの深き海より参りました。ドブでもがいてろ。命を奪うようなことはいたしません。私がお守りします。ディオボーレント。承知した。クズだ。アップルパイ。断絶撃て。わらわの出番。皇帝の王爵をへし折れ。ディオボーレン。クズだ。早くしろ。腰抜け野郎が。この力どうか受け止めてください。ディオボーレント。迎撃開始。ディオボ勝利か鹿だ。
決まった。何時らが孤児せし不意。何人も語り継ぐことかなわん。
私の完璧な包囲網からは誰一人逃れられないわ。 行動を開始する。行くぞ。ディオボーレント。一気にかかってこい。一気に片付けましょうか。始めましょう。集中砲火。一気にかかってこい。
承知した。
カードを引くがよい。下がって。そう、足を止める。口癖アラージュ。我らが神よ、お聞きください。私を呼び起こしてくださったのはあなたですね。クズだ。どこで了解。ロックンロール。無情の風よ、皇帝の王爵をへし折れ。お前はもう戻れないんだよ。バラージュ。迎撃開始。ビビってんじゃねえ。ピヨッ。
何時らも愛我が意向にかき消されたり。
あのテアイラはすでに墓標のもとへ送ったぞ。行くよ。嵐のように蹂躙してやる。浮上は清めなければ。アップルパイ。勝利か鹿だ。一気に片付けましょうか。祝福を。撃て。ビビってんじゃねえ。
承知した。
運命に抗うなかれ。射撃開始。3つお前を貫く。ロックンロール。聖なる鈴の根にその鎧は朽ち果てる。かの深き海より参りました。クズだ。バラ。私がお守りします。了解。アップルパイ。無情の風よ、万物を滅ぼせ。除教皇よ、お前はもう戻れないんだよ。ディオボーレント。撃ビってんじゃねえ。バラ。
男女は我が恩敵。岩老物に過ぎぬのか。
あのテアイラはすでに墓標のもとへ送ったぞ。
待て、医療器具を準備してからだ。
後ろは私に任せて、お前らはとにかく前に突っ込め。
運命とは宇井天変のもの。世に残るのは勝者だけじゃ。
承知した。全力でかかってくる。私を楽しませてみ
お前はもう戻れないんだよ。
一気に片付けましょうか。
治療してほしいやつは前に出ろ。
集中砲火。治療開始。下がって。
お前はもう戻れないんだよ。
ちょっとからかってあげようっと。ロックンロール。
勝利か鹿だ。
わらわたちの運命はこんなものでは。
バレないように気配を殺していけ。
敵の状況はまだ不明瞭だ。味方の世話だけで時間がいっぱいいっぱいでな。
クズが。治療の準備だ。
ちょっとからかってあげようっと。バラージュ。負傷した者はすぐに知らせるんだ。
迎撃
ロックンロール。
飛ぶでもがいてろ。
祝福を。
勝利か鹿だ。
ディオポーレント。
承知した。お前にかける情けはない。
バラージュ。すまない。薬剤の用意不足だ。皆様、ご機嫌うるわしゅ。ここからは茨の道になります。
やるぞ。
君たちのために地獄の一等地に部屋を用意しておいたから安心していってらっしゃい。
クズが。治療の準備だ。
ついてきて。バラージュ。治療開始。
迎撃開始。飛ぶでもがいてろ。力と栄光。 ィオ・ボーレント。始めましょう。
決まったかなら己が存在を自らに超え
ロックンロールクズだ。アップルパイ。さあ走行を下す。
一気にかかってこい。
気をつけなさい。鈴の音来たりて風雪をまとう。バラージ
勝利か鹿だ。
ディオ・ボーレント。
万物を滅ぼせ助教皇よ。
早くしろ。かの深き運より参りました。ディオ・ボーレント。
ビビってんじゃね
え。ディオ・ボーレント。
悪くない戦いだった。この私ですら胸の高鳴りを感じたほど。
みんなの面倒はちゃんと見てあげるわよ。敵の状況はまだ不明瞭だ。味方の世話だけで時間がいっぱいいっぱいでな。
お前はもう戻れないんだよ。
ちょっとからかってあげようっと。バラージュ。負傷した者はすぐに知らせるんだ。
迎撃開始。お前はもう戻れないんだよ。
アップルパイ。
始めましょう。
何ちらの愛我が意向にかき消されたり。
力と栄光を。
ロックンロール。バラージュ。
勝利か鹿だ。
鈴の音来たりて風雪をまとう。
アップルパイ。
勝利か鹿だ。
戦車よ
空をかけよ。
私を呼び起こして。
アップルパイ。
一気にかかってこい。
カランドの光よ我らに祝福を。
医薬品の積み込みは完了した。それでは出発する。
クズ
ちょっとからかってあげようっと。バラージュ治療開始。
抹殺する。
お前にかける情けはない。
ロックンロール。
始めましょう。
己が存在を自らに据
お前にかける情けはない。
ディオ・ボーレント。
さあ走行を下す。
アップルパイ。
ビビってんじゃね
聖なる鈴の音にその鎧は朽ち果てる。
アップルパ
え。一気にかかってこい。
虚空の塔よ。かの深し
ロックンロール。ディオ・ボー。
ビビってんじゃね
チェックメイト。悪いけど私の勝ちだ。
運命とは紆余転変のもの。世に残るのは勝者だけじゃ。
クズ
ついてきて。バラージュ。負傷した者はすぐに知らせるんだ。
迎撃開始。
飛ぶでもがいてろ。
カンバラージュ。祝福を。
己が存在を自らに据
お前はもう戻れないんだよ。
アップルパイ。
3つお前を貫く。
バラージュ。
力と栄光。
聖なる鈴の音にその鎧は朽ち果てる。
バラージ
ュ。力と栄光。
皇帝の王爵をへし折れ。
ディオ・ボーレント。
あのテアイラはすでに墓標のもとへ送ったぞ。
出る。
君たちのために地獄の一等地に部屋を用意しておいたから安心していってらっしゃい。
お前はもう戻れないんだよ。
ついてきて。バラージュ。負傷した者はすぐに知らせるんだ。
抹殺する。お前はもう戻れないんだよ。
ロックンロール。始めましょう。
何時らの愛に我が意向にかき消されたり。
一気にかかってこい。
バラージュ。ディオ・ボーレント。
ビビってんじゃね
聖なる鈴の音にその鎧は朽ち果てる。バラージュ。
勝利か鹿だ。戦車よ空をかけよ。
あの深きディオ・ボーレント。ディオ・ボーレント。
勝利か鹿だ。
Mission accomplished. この結末は奴らの弱さが招いたものだ。
みんなの面倒はちゃんと見てあげるわよ。
この戦場に迷い込んだ全ての魂、あなたに捧げましょう。
クズだ。
ついてきて。ディオ・ボーレント。苦情した者はすぐに知らせるんだ。
抹殺する。お前はもう戻れないんだよ。
ディオ・ボーレント。
祝福を。
何時らかを愛に我が意向にかき消されたり。
一気にかかってこい。
ディオ・ボーレント。バラーゼ。
力と栄光。
聖なる鈴の音にその鎧は朽ち果てる。
ディオ・ボーレント。
ビビってんじゃねえ。万物を滅ぼせ除教皇よ。
ロックンロール。ロック
勝利か鹿だ。悪くねえ結果だな。 よ、ドクター。
の木陰に座ったままアイスを口に放り込んで風を待っていた。もう忘れてしまったかな、世の中の全部嘘だらけ。本当の価値を二人で探しに行こうと笑ったこと。忘れないように色あせないように、形に残るものが全てじゃないように。言葉をもっと教えて、夏が来るって教えて。僕は描いてる目に映ったのは夏の亡霊だ。風にスカートが揺れて、思い出なんて忘れて浅い呼吸をする。汗を拭って夏めく。夏の木陰に座った頃、遠くの丘から顔出した雲だったじゃないか。君はそれを掴もうとして、バカみたい肉を切った手で、僕は紙肉も一つを描いて、笑って握ってみせて。忘れないように色あせないように、歴史に残るものが全てじゃないから。今だけ顔なくして、言葉も全部忘れて。君は笑ってる夏を待っている、僕が亡霊だ。心をもっと教えて、夏の匂いを教えて。浅い呼吸をする。忘れないように色あせないように、心に響くものが全てじゃないから。言葉をもっと教えて、さよならだって教えて。今も見るんだよ、夏に咲いてる花に亡霊を。言葉じゃなくて時間を、時間じゃなくて心、浅い呼吸をする。汗を拭って夏めく。夏の匂いがする。しまったかな、夏の木陰に座ったままアイスを口に放り込んで風を待っていた。変わらない風景、浅い正午を動かした愛に情寝転ぶまま、白紙の人生に白紙の根が一つなっている空っぽな自分を今日も歌っていた。変わらないように君が主役のプロットを書くノートの だ夜を行くようにが役に立つとか言うけど正直立てません。大人になりたくないのにいつから笑顔が上手になったんだ。人生なんて余るほどないし友達なんかはいりません。最低限の荷物を固めてあなたに会いに行こうと思いました。たまんないね。もう一回もう一個だって落としても死ねない。負け続けても笑った君が口みたいじゃないか。もう一生後悔したくない後悔は吠えたい。負け犬が吠えるように生きていたいんだ。君のそんな顔なんか見たくもないんだ。人生に名前をつけるなら希望って言葉は違うだろう。もう何年待っているんだろう。わからないか君以外はどうでもいいんだよ。それだけは分かっていたんだろう。もう一回もう一歩だって歩いても言えない。 ンさ。もう一回僕たちにもアンコールなどいらない。声面かけよ偽善者。もう一回もう一歩だって歩いたら負けだ。世界平和でも歌うか。早く全部を救えよ愛とやらで。もういいもうこんな人生全部をかけたい。負け犬なり後悔ばっか歌って。また夢に負けて絹糸死んで。死んだ目で爆弾片手に口を開く。さよならだ人類みんな吹き飛んじまえ。泣いた顔で爆弾片手夜が苦しい。安っぽいナイトショーのワンシーンみたいな夢が見たい。今日もできませんでした。今日もやれませんでした。青春の全部を爆破したい。君のことを歌にしたい。この日々を爆破して心ごと爆破して。ずるいよ優しさってぶち熱かせてさ。ずるいよ全部この部屋を爆破したい。夢からが生きられない。だから今さよならだ吹き飛んじまえ。死んだ目で爆弾片手に街を歩く。誰も見向きもしないんだ。爆弾をかざしたとてずっと泣けませんでした。ずっと笑えませんでした。青春を全部に君がいる。風が吹けば花が咲く。あの夏を爆破して思い出を爆破して。ひどいよ君自信は黙って消えたくせに。ひどいよ全部この街を爆破したい。このままじゃ生きられない。だから今さよならだ吹き飛んじまえ。もっと笑えばよかった。ずっと戻りたかった。青春の全部に散れば酒散れば酒よサルスベリ。この日々を爆破して心ごと爆破して。辛くてもいい苦しさも全部僕のものだ。分かってるんだ。この星を爆破したい。君を消せるだけでいい。今しからいなくなれ。この日々を爆破して心ごと爆破して。ずるいよ優しさってやつちらつかせてさ。ずるいよ全部この夜を爆破したい。君だけも覚えてたい。だから今さよならだ吹き飛んじまえ。雨の匂いに懐かしくなるのはなんでなんでしょうか。夏が近づくと胸がざわめくのはなんでなんでしょうか。人に笑われたら涙が出るのはなんでなんでしょうか。それでもいつか報われるからと思えばいいんでしょうか。さよならって言葉でこんなに胸を裂いて。今もたった数瞬の夕焼けに足が止まっていた。先生人生 した君は憧れなんて言葉じゃ足りないようなそんな色が強くついていてどんな伝えたい言葉も目に見えないなら透明なんだ寂しさを埋めるように歌っていた誰の声たくさんめき出した人の声スラッバックミュージックのようだあの日君が歌った歌を見た体のどこかで誰かが叫んでるんだ長い夜の向こう側でこの心ごと渡したいから僕を全部溶かして凛として君の心象はいつの日も透明だった何の色も形も見えないクルーゾーだ愛の歌も世界平和も目に見えないのは透明なんだそんなものはないのと同じだ駅前の喧騒